Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going, sir?
Good, how are you? I'm just trying to turn my camera. Oh, there we go.
Great. I'm
Perfect.
doing
What's
good
going
so
on?
far. Nothing much. Good to see you again. This is my group mate Carlos.
Hey
Uh,
Carlos, how are you?
Good and you?
Good, good.
Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to help us with this. That's great. We just have 14 quick questions about software and stuff in the construction industry. If you're all set, we're gonna have Carlos open up with the
Yeah.
front seven. I'll get the back seven.
Sure.
All right. So the first four questions are just an overview about like your job in general. So the first question is, what is your job title?
I'm the vice president of Viking Construction. We're a general contractor and construction management firm based in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Second question is, are you assigned to a project, job site, or do you work more at the main office or corporate?
I work at our main office overseeing, all the different projects in correlation with our project managers, project execs. And we'll come on site, try to get to each site once a week if I can, but we have multiple projects, so keeps me running around.
How long have you been working at your current company?
I was fortunate enough to be born into this, fourth generation, so it's a family business. So I've been working at Viking since I was 16, starting as a laborer, and making my way up. So I would say at least 15, 18 years.
How long have you been working in the construction industry?
Since the day I was born. I mean, I did some other odd jobs like caddying, working at a car wash and stuff as a kid, but other than that, every school vacation and in between college breaks, I was always working on a site doing something, looking to earn some money and learn the industry.
What are two technologies that you use frequently?
Um, so the two biggest things we use at Viking are obviously Microsoft Office, for Excel and Word and Outlook, for our email communication. But our big construction software is Procore. I know Henry got a taste of it when he was interning with us. It's a widely accepted construction management tool that's in our industry. The architects and engineers are used to communicating with it. The subcontractors, we use it from everything from drawings to RFIs. We're using it now for estimating and bidding. So it's a core nucleus of the software in our industry, both on $2 million jobs and they use them on, $1 billion jobs. It's a very powerful tool that keeps all of our information organized.
What is Procore used for exactly?
So it's used for, all stages of construction from bid packages and estimating and takeoffs to the transfer of, okay, now you're going to run the project. So you've got your drawings, RFI, meeting minutes, does your quality control and safety, and then as well as the financials. So managing the contract and the change orders and the budget modifications, all in one module with a ball and court method that is always, very transparent to see, whose turn is it to respond on this drawing or RFI or, who's got to sign off on this change order. So it's a great way to keep the team engaged and it's on your computer, on your iPad, on your phone, so everyone's integrated.
Okay, and then diving more specifically into the everyone's integrated, who specifically, excuse me, would you say uses Procore on the team?
So the power user is usually the contractor. They're usually the ones that set it up. But the owner can have a login or the owner's representative because they'll see the photos, they'll see the information passing back and forth. And then all the design team is uploaded in there, so they'll get the workflows. So when there's a submittal being submitted or an RFI to be responded to, it's very transparent on who needs to respond, and then it logs all the information. So we have our database for the entire project that can be accessed at any time, which then turn over into all our closeout documents. So the owner has all the as-built drawings, where the RFI was, all the decisions that were approved and made, all in one online software.
Awesome. And then do you have any particular likes and dislikes when it comes to Procore?
I like the fact that you can use it as much as you want. You're not tied into every single module. But dislikes, I wouldn't really say dislike, but garbage in, garbage out. If you're not going to fill out every field, if you're not going to put the time and effort it is, you're not going to get the best results out of it. And, especially on setting up a project, it takes a while to set up all the drawings. The software does a great job of pulling in the names and the title blocks, but organizing that and the specs really set your project up for success because then you can get your punch list off of there. You've got all your locations. You've got, so it's no pun intended, you're building your foundation and going up. If you set it up correctly, it'll be a very powerful tool throughout the life cycle of the job.
Okay, great. And then we're going to go back to the Microsoft Office bit. Again, what is this software used for in your company?
Yeah, so we use the whole Microsoft Office suite, our Excel sheets, nothing beats a good Excel sheet when trying to figure out quantities and, doing quick takeoffs and such. And Word when we have to write our documents and letterheads and things of such. And all of our emails are through Outlook, which is also integrated with our OneDrive. So all of our corporate files and, um, project stuff that's, not necessarily project specific. Um, is stored on our network server. So, and it's great because, like Procore, there's every app on your phone and it's easy to get into and makes it easier for our employees to access all their stuff, all their company documents, wherever they are.
Awesome. And then going back towards the who specifically uses that software, I'm guessing it's more on the office side rather than the field side. Not saying that it wouldn't be in the field, but
Everyone uses it in the company, but it's just the different levels. So all of our
yeah.
superintendents and field personnel, they'll get iPads, which have the Office suite on there. So if someone sends them a Word doc or an Excel to look at, they can open it. But they're primarily using, Microsoft Office. And then the power users are really the ones in the office that are doing more of that. But it gives an opportunity that everyone has the ability to edit or view anything that's being transcribed.
Okay. And then back to the likes and dislikes, any pros and cons when it comes to using Office?
It's built for a business, so it may not be sometimes as user friendly as like Gmail or some of those other ones, but it also has the power for the scheduling and the meetings and um, it's been around for a long time. So from a training perspective, most people have used it. Um, so
Okay. And then this is our wild card question. They say where we get to pick from a list, and the one that I've picked is how does Viking hope to use, if they do hope to use artificial intelligence or AI?
So, long story short, I have a buddy who's got a buddy that started a construction AI firm that we're dealing with now. And where I look to it is, to save us time and just reading the drawings, giving us better reports that say there's, 24 toilets and there's this many square feet and as it grows. But what's even more, I look to it as a benefit is as drawings change and we get addendums or big bulletins that come out with 30 new drawings, really comparing side by side what has changed. We'll take any errors, takes the human error out of comparing the two, spits back a report quickly. One of the other cool things that this AI company is working on is it'll read the spec book, and if a subcontractor submits, you know, red flooring, it'll read the spec book and see if red flooring is acceptable. And if it is, it'll give you a checklist of saying, yes, it's the right size, the right color, yada yada, or here are the things that are not correct. So what it'll be doing is a lot of comparison back and forth that'll, I think, help speed things up, especially in the beginning of a project when you're processing submittals and a lot of data is flowing back and forth. Speed that up.
Okay, great. That's the 14 questions we have for you. Really appreciate your time again. Thank you for doing this. It's tremendous help.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Anytime you got some, feel free to reach out.
I really appreciate that. All right. Thank you again.
All right,
I
guys,
gotta
have a good
go.
one.
Thanks, you
You
too.
too.
All righty, bye.
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 All right. Well,
Nice.
I'm gonna pause.